guys, it's Sarah, and today is BookList Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week, we're handing the reins over to you guys. So Lindsay and I get on here and we talk about books every week, right? So we spend a lot of time giving you recommendations. But we wanted to get recommendations from you this time, and not just for us, but for everybody. So we went onto social media on a couple different platforms, and we asked the question, what is the one book that you read this year that you would recommend to anybody? And you guys delivered. I got so many more comments than I thought I was going to get that I went... like Lindsay and I had to have a conversation. How are we going to do this? Because this is a lot. And so we decided we're just going to rapid fire. So we're not going to talk about the synopsis of any of these books. We are just going to tell you what other readers and viewers of ours recommend. So, and we're just going to rapid fire it. I have pulled all the books that were recommended that I personally own and have. So I will show those. The ones that I don't have, I will put thumbnails up for you. But yeah, no synopsises, no nothing. And then there are a couple of books on here, like as I was looking them all up and making the lists and stuff, a couple of these I added to my wish list. And I was like, ooh, I think I'm gonna be into that one. So it's been very, very fun. Okay, let's get into it because there is a lot. All of these books will be linked down below. So I'm just going in the order that the comments came rolling in. So the first one is We Spread by Ian Reid. I've read a book by this author. Haven't heard of this one, but that one was recommended. The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I'm interested in this one. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I have this one on audio, and I do plan to listen to this. I've heard amazing things about it. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I have not read this book yet, but it is on the Great American Reads list, so it is on my shelves to read at some point. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I have read this book, and it is incredible. I don't own a copy of it, but I have read it, and it is fantastic. The Attic Child by Lola J. This is one that I just added to my wish list because I have seen it. It was a book of the month option at one point, and I kind of regretted not getting it the month that it was there because I have since heard very, very good things about it. So I've added this one to my wish list. Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. This one came up a couple of times and I 100% am behind this recommendation. I loved it. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn. I had this on my list to read in the fall and wasn't able to pick it up within the time frame. So I want to read this though very badly. The Magnolia Palace by Fiona Davis. I have not read anything by this author yet, but I have heard very, very, very good things about her books, and I have a couple of them on my shelf. So this is one, haven't read it yet, but definitely interested in this author for me personally. Very popular book right now, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I desperately want to read this one as well, and I think that this is going to be a big priority for me here soon. Nettle and Bone by Ting Kingfisher. I have heard about this book. I've heard a lot, and then when it showed up here, I was like, you know what? I'm going to add that to my wish list because I have really heard very, very good things about this book. Human Acts by Han Kang. Okay, The Girl with Seven Names. I had to look up how to pronounce this first name because I did not want to mess it up. And what I got was Hensao Lee. This is a nonfiction book about a woman who escaped North Korea. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I loved this book. Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. I have read my first Jennifer Hillier book this past year and really enjoyed it. And this is definitely going to be the next one that I pick up from her for sure. Big Lies in a Small Town by Diane Chamberlain. Love this author. I have really enjoyed everything I've read from her so far. Haven't read this one yet, but definitely want to. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. This has been such a big book this year, and I definitely picked it up because I definitely want to read it. Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. This is his memoir. Mrs. March by Virginia Fito. The Winners by Frederick Bachman. Definitely want to be reading this one soon as well. This is the conclusion to the Beartown trilogy. I loved the first two, plan to reread those, and then devour this one as well. The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. Steeped in Secrets by Lauren Elliott. The Last Checkmate by Gabriella Saab. What the Wind Knows by Amy Harmon. I've heard really, really good things about this one, and this was kindly sent to me from a subscriber, and I definitely want to read this one. We End at the Beginning by Chris Whitaker. This was also a pretty big book this year. Another very big book, and one that I am definitely going to be picking up, is The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. I have heard such great things about this. I've even recommended it to people at work. So this is going to be another high priority for me. The Best of Friends by Lucinda Berry. Passing by Nella Larson. I have read this one. This is a short story. By Any Other Name by Lauren Kate. I was sent this early from the publishers, and I actually have this sitting in my room right now to pick up soon. It's a nice little short contemporary romance that is set in the publishing world, so I'm actually going to be reading this pretty soon. Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I love Stephen King. This is one I don't have on my shelves quite yet, but will definitely be picked up at some point. Vladimir by Julia May Jonas. This one was specifically recommended on audio. The Hiding Place by Corey Ten Boom. Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, which I highly, highly agree with. This is one of my favorite books of all time. Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I absolutely loved this book, absolutely love this author, so definitely agree with this recommendation. Another favorite author, another author that has already been on this list, Stephen King. His newest release is Fairy Tale. I cannot wait to read this one. I am very excited for this. The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is one that I had on my wish list for a while, and then I think it disappeared. Something was weird with the Amazon link for it. I don't know what is going on with that book, but it would be there and then it would disappear, and then I don't know. So I just re-added it to my Amazon wish list because I do want to read this book. I've heard very, very good things about it. The Magic of Lemon Drop Pie by Rachel Linden. Defending Jacob by William Landay. Okay, this one really caught my attention. It's The Devil All the Time by Donald Ray Pollock. And the person who recommended this one was saying it really gave her S.A. Cosby vibes. And I was like, yes, please. And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, I recognize that cover. I've heard a couple people talking about that book. So I added that one to my wish list too. A Little Hope by Ethan Joella. Fellowship Point by Alice Elliott Dark. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I am very, very excited to read this one. I've heard really, really, really good things about it. Trespasses by Louise Kennedy. The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen. Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. I have this one on my Kindle. Wintering by Catherine May. I've heard a lot about this one recently. This next one came up a couple of times too, and I fully agree with it, and that is The Storyteller by Dave Grohl. Do you have to love the Foo Fighters to read this? It helps. Or Nirvana, either one. I feel like it will help you enjoy it. I think going into this without knowing who they are or having kind of like a little bit of that background may not be as enjoyable for you, but if you were into that or you're into like Nirvana and the 90s rock and stuff, this book was so good. The Midnight Rose by Lucinda Riley. The Trees by Percival Everett. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Again, I have heard so many good things about this book, and it has a big giant octopus in it, and I need that because you get his perspective, and I don't know why I haven't read this yet. Live and Let Chai by Bree Baker. This is a cozy mystery. Take My Hand by Dolan Perkis Valdez. Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesar. Ordinary Grace by William Kent Kruger. The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Dare. I've heard very good things about this one as well. The Wedding Veil by Christy Woodson Harvey. Flawless by Elsie Silver. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldery. Yes. If this cover does not look familiar, this one might. Legends and Lattes. This is like a cozy fantasy. A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Naney. A classic is on here as well, guys, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. For Those Who Are Lost by Julia Bryan Thomas. Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I will always back a Colleen Hoover recommendation. Olga Dies Dreaming by Xochitl Gonzalez. To whoever said this, thank you. This is one of my all-time favorite books, like top, like number 3 of all time, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. My love for this book is indescribable. I love it so much. A Man Called Uva by Frederick Buckman. Loved this book as well. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I have read this one. It's pretty good. I promise I did not put it on this list, guys. This came from somebody else. And you all know I'm going to highly endorse this. The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. It wasn't me. We actually have a trilogy on here. So the Gathering Water trilogy by Reagan Clare. The Book Woman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson. Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. I really, really want to read this one. This is one of hers that I don't own yet. I'm still kind of on the lookout for a good used copy. I haven't been able to find it quite yet, but I definitely want to read that one. The Blue Tower by J.B. Simmons. Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. I really, really want to read this book. I actually picked this book up because of Lindsay, because she really loved it. And this is when we were still kind of her and I were getting to know each other, like when we first kind of started talking, but I had remembered her talking about this book so much and how much she loved it. And I ended up picking it up at a Goodwill, I think. I saw the title and went, oh, Lindsay loves that one, and I grabbed it. Upgrade by Blake Crouch. Really want to read this one. Really love this author. And again, I don't know why I haven't read it yet. Betrayal of Anne Frank, a Cold Case Investigation by Rosemary Sullivan. The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Really, really want to read this one. So, yeah, another one that I can't believe. I should probably just pull all the ones I've said that about. If I have said I can't believe I haven't read this yet, I need to pull it and put it in my bedroom. Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips. Another one that Lindsay really, really loved, and I picked up because she loved it and told me that I would love it too. And I haven't read it yet. Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin, who also wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which was on the list earlier. And I recently picked this one up when we went to Madison. It's something that I have heard of a whole lot, and I am definitely intrigued. So I finally just picked up a copy. Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Another high endorsement for me, you guys. I absolutely loved this book. Loved, loved, loved. One of my favorites of the year. Loved it. Another love, love, love. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. And yeah, I can definitely get behind this one as well. If you like romance, please pick this up. And last but definitely not least is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. Another one that I read earlier this year and absolutely loved it. Loved it. And yeah, so I can definitely get behind this recommendation as well. All right, guys, 80 recommendations. 80. Wow. This is going to be a lot to link, but they are all linked down below. Make sure you go and check them out. If any of them caught your eye, if any of the covers were pretty, or if you've heard about them before and this is just kind of like a push for you, go get the books. Go get them. They've been recommended specifically. Make sure you go check out Lindsay today and see which books were recommended for her to give to you guys. I'm really excited to see that as well because we have not compared lists. We haven't talked about it. Nothing like that. So I'll be interested to see what overlap there is. And I'm excited to get to a bunch of these. So let me know your thoughts down below and hope you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you guys later. Bye.